Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday's live stream. How's everyone doing? Do you have any wins that you want to celebrate for the week? On Sunday, we set intentions and things that maybe we've been meaning to give momentum to. So we set an intention to do that, just start it somehow. So do you have any milestones around that or any wins? Like you just responded differently to something or anything like that. You're starting something new. You have a different, maybe healthier perspective on something. And hi, Bob. How are you? And yeah, again, on Sunday I was talking about how I was just like not feeling well. And so, if you're new here, I'm not usually dressed like, a MAGA person. And I'm not political at all. I don't have a whatever either way. But this is the best mama could do today. So I'm going straight to bed after this. It's just been enervating. I'm great. I'm good. I'm just, having this flu or whatever. I'm glad it's not affecting my sinuses, knock on wood. But it's just really tiring and I haven't canceled any clients or anything. And I'm proud, like I didn't want to really cancel the live stream because it does give me life. And so I don't want to, and I really feel very strongly about even when you're not feeling well to not over identify with it. Like I've been saying, thank you for my health. Thank you for my radiant health. Thank you for my radiant health. And when I was with a client, I was like, starting to get the chills and I'm like, I can't do that now. So I was imagining being really hot, like in Miami, because it's really hot there right now. And it totally shifted me out of it. And I was still very tired. So right after that client, I took a nap. But your mind is so powerful. I'll never stop telling you that because I want you to empower yourself in that way. Your mind is so powerful and it can really shift things. It could shorten a illness that you have, although sometimes, and I say this a lot all the time, and especially to my clients, sometimes when you are really healing and you're really letting something go, and really upgrading your vibration, just like on the David R. Hawkins scale of frequency, when you're really letting something go from the past, you're going to feel lighter and brighter and more energetic. And sometimes right before that, you need more sleep or you get really sick or something. It just feels like a rock bottom moment. Just let yourself chill, just let yourself recalibrate because it's on purpose. Your nervous system knows what it's doing. So I definitely think that's going on with me. So I'm just kind of like riding it out because I was having some resistance to it. Evan, how are you doing? I'm doing well, Evan. How are you? Jay Vale, hi. So let me know if you have any questions related to mental health, personality disorders, healing from a toxic relationship, anything like that. I'm here for you guys. And I'm going to actually open up. Miss Priya had a question. I'll wait to see if she jumps in. I screenshotted it. Yes, I did. I'll wait to see if she jumps in before I answer it. Because I did tell her I would answer her question. So if I see her, then I'll jump right into it. Thanks, David. Okay, I'm going to pull it up on my phone because I could just see things easier. And again, thank you, Bob, for helping me out. Especially today, I would not be able to do this without you. Epic psychology, not psychic. Right? It's funny. Yeah, I can't. But you know what? I have to tell you, see this little, if you're watching on this little crystal ball, a client gave that to me actually because like everything's pattern recognition. And I always tell people, like, here's what's going to happen. I'm trying to help you. Like, you hired me. I can see 100 yards, 300 yards in front of you. Here's what's going to, and then that particular client was just like resistant. And finally, I'm like, here's what's going to happen again. He was an executive coaching client. And so there's all these dynamics involved with the company and a sale and all this stuff. And so finally, I'm like, it's not going to hurt you to listen to me. Like, you're paying me, right? And so it really was helpful to him. Let's say that. And then he gave me that. So there is a part of it. And I'm also, a lot of people that are in healing professions are very intuitive. And intuitive, I guess there's a psychic element to it. So there's that too. Some people are like, "Are you fucking psychic?" And I'm like, "No, I just understand pattern recognition really well." And I am intuitive. I have to say, like, I have had times where sometimes I'll see something like right before it's going to happen. And sometimes it's something that's important and sometimes it's just random shit. So, and if you're intuitive and empathic, that's probably happened to you as well. Can you tell me something about maladaptive daydreaming and whether it's a gift or a curse? So, why do you think it would be a gift and why do you think it'd be a curse? Because when I think of maladaptive daydreaming, I think of it as the brain trying to disassociate. That's um, my only association with maladaptive daydreaming, because everyone, their brain daydreams sometimes. But if you're just like always checked out, it's because you are having a hard time dealing with life. And I have met people like that, and you're like, hello, and they're just like, and it's really sad actually. And it's frustrating because ostensibly, I think it looks like they're doing it on purpose. Like, you have to know you're in a social situation and you're like, because you don't want to deal with what's going on, or you feel like everyone is better than you, like you're intimidated of something. So, gift because visualization of your future, having a clear vision of your goals. Curse because it's a distraction. Yeah, I mean, that's not maladaptive daydreaming. That's more on the intuitive side of things. If you're visualizing something and you're good at that, but do it in meditation. Get those downloads or do the visualization in meditation and decide that is your space to do that. That's your time block to do that. And then the other times it doesn't get to be a distraction. You control your mind. Your mind is powerful, but you are the one that controls it. So, let's not forget that. I don't know why it's not showing up on my phone. Hold on. The comments. Let me try it like this. Okay, here it is. Yeah, it only shows up on one. Okay. Hi, Bob. Bob Morse. And I skipped 10 tarot readers to get here. Okay. Off topic, but wow. Oh, thank you. Oh my God. The minute I was like, oh, I'm so glad I don't have a sinus thing. Here we go. But I think it's just because my air conditioner's on. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions related to mental health. I'm going to give it a few more minutes to see if Miss Priya comes in, and then I'm just going to answer her question. And let me know if you have any questions. And I think that we'll go for maybe an hour because, like, Mama needs to rest. I'm not 100%, but I'm super happy to be here. I love you guys. You guys give me life, and I appreciate you. Hi, LC, whatever your name is. So anyway, questions about mental health, relationships, toxic relationships. Okay, well, if you have 1 million, do one. Or give me one. And yeah, don't push yourself tonight. Get rest. I will. I have another client like at 8 p.m. where, Pacific time. So if anything, I'll rest in between. So, okay, I'm going to go to the screenshots that I saved. One of them was like cracking me up. This one. And it was, it's fine to feel like this sometimes. Myself included, I just feel very excited to have a title attached to these piggish humans. So in this clip, I was talking about, oh no, this is actually from Soothing Sundays last Sunday. And it's kind of like, and I really very much agree with that. Like, everyone has this thing like, oh, we're overusing the word narcissist. I'd rather at this point in the game, I'd rather overuse it so people have an awareness, because so many people are in abusive situations and they don't know what's going on. They think they're crazy. They think that they're doing everything wrong. And if they just did this one thing, and it creates so much turmoil and literal trauma. So I'm okay, like, even if people overuse the word, and because someone has or is displaying a narcissistic trait, that's fine with me. And so I agree with that. And if others have experienced the same level of extended 2 decades bullying, we deserve the clarity of naming the unscrupulous, malicious, dumbass behavior. It's being overused. It's not being overused. The behavior is clap, clap. Like, and I think that's true too. These people, they just keep repeating themselves because they have enablers, right? If once you draw a boundary with a narcissist, which they hate, all narcissists freaking hate boundaries. But once you do that with them and they know that they can't cross it, they'll just move on to other supply. But it like lingers in their mind that they couldn't torture you anymore. And you're the one that said no to them. You broke it off. And they just, that's why the hoovering comes in. And they just can't get you out of their mind. And then the ones that will just come back and have a lot of codependency issues and, you know, what we call pick me type of women who are just like, okay, well, it's just my fault, and me, come back. So those types, like, narcissists love them, but they also hate them, because it's like narcissists are what they're thinking is, I hate myself and you keep trying to get me back. Like, I have no respect for you because I don't have any respect for myself. That's the subconscious thought pattern. So yes, I agree with that comment from Jennifer. And it is about awareness. Once you have awareness, you could really start connecting the dots and not blame yourself for everything. Yes, it is a nice place to vent and ask questions. Hi, Street Cat. Okay. Are you pro or anti ADHD medication? I've heard people say you don't need them, and some people think it's just convenient and helpful. I am really not for it for several reasons. So ADHD really is a trauma response. So what happened at some point in your childhood, there was a lot of things going on. So your brain had to think about doing one thing and then the other thing, and then maybe stop this argument and then get this task done, and also to get your homework done. So your brain is it's just such a sophisticated organ. It's really amazing. So it does I think it's a superpower, actually. And so it does these things and then if you have ADHD, and I guess I do, like, I made a video about this, actually. Like, one Saturday morning, I was, making coffee, and I, put my pants on, and then I put one sock on. Then a client called me, and I'm walking around, like, talking to them, and I'm just like with one sock on. Then I started cleaning this and everything, but everything got done. I just did like laps around my apartment and actually got so much done before 11 a.m. And so I have a huge problem with kids being diagnosed ADHD, because then their brains are medicated when they're not even done developing, because the school system is like, oh, we can't control you and all this stuff. And school, I think in general, is not made for most people, but especially boys. Boys are more active. Like, girls can sit for long periods of time typically, but it's not set up. So it's like, let's just drug this person. Or I've had clients that are girls and they just had like anxiety. They had like a very chaotic home. So someone gave them ADHD medication, and their brain is so fucked, like, literally, and I've said that. I'm like, we have to detox you. And they have this unconscious belief that I need this pill in order to function. But then they stop taking it and their personality comes back online, and they feel good and they could feel things and they're better socially. So I just think that ADHD medication is a crutch. And I think it's also invented. People have been having ADHD type of things their whole life. And typically as you get later into adulthood, it dissipates. Not for everyone, but it's not anything that's going to cause you harm. Like, it doesn't make you suicidal. It doesn't, ADHD people are very effective in workspaces a lot of times. So I just think it's a huge scam for the medical industry and the pharmaceutical industry, in my opinion. And I've helped a lot of my clients completely detox their body and nervous system from that, and they were all so very grateful. Street cat just stopping by, dropping heart, and a good stream. Okay. I'm new here, Sebastian. But I gather this is a channel about, yes, it's a channel about psychology, mental health, nervous system regulation, neuroscience. I help people rewire their brain and reprogram their nervous system to get rid of old behaviors and patterns that just don't serve you, and also to get everything that you want out of life. Sometimes when I take okay, no. Way cool, BPD. I like these subjects. I'll subscribe. Oh, nice. Thank you, Sebastian. I have 3 sons, and their moms changed after giving birth, 3 different moms. What do you know about postnatal depression? Is it always when a woman gives birth because the estrogen, I think you mean drop? Yes. Yeah. Like I've mentioned before, it's like pregnancy, but also the postpartum part is gangster as fuck. It is. There's 1 or maybe 5% of the population that feel of women after giving birth that feel like very euphoric and like horny for some reason, and that's why some people have Irish twins. But most, like, you have a huge hormonal drop. So your job as a man with a woman that just gave birth is to just be really understanding of that. And, her body went through a lot, let's just say that. And then you have this other being attached to you, like physically to you, because a newborn doesn't know that he's separate or she's separate from the mom until 6 months. So that's why a lot of newborns, like, they really cry all the time if like you put them down to rest or anything like that until they fall asleep. So it's a really hard time, and then you're getting your body back online, and it's just really hard. You've heard the whole "I'm getting my pink back." That's what that is, because you don't like feel like a woman. You just feel like this like sloppy, sweaty, very tired person. So it is extremely normal. It should bounce back, and then I will say, and I'm just being for real, a lot of women, they just want to have kids. They want to get married. They want the whatever, and they're not really like into sex. They never were. And so they'll kind of be performative. And, I've worked with men that this has happened to, and I'm like, you ignored the red flags, or the woman like rushed everything. It's like, first month of dating, and it's like, oh, let's get married, da 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 da. Like, there's this couple on social media where that happened too. And so when that happens, the guy is just like in this whirlwind, and men say things in the moment that they might not mean later. We all do, but men do too. And so women that are like, I'm trying to get married and pregnant, like, I want kids, like, the kids is the agenda. And I'm telling you, when you decide to have children, it should never be you don't get with someone for something that doesn't exist, or just for kids. Like, you don't use someone like that. But people do, and they act performative. They do. I mean, I have heard every story, you guys. I could just sit here and like list all these stories. I mean, some of them are wild, and the guy's like, oh my God, this is it. And then the switch flips, and it's like, oh God, that's, when we were having fun, whatever. And so it went from like this super fun dynamic, hi, Miss Priya, to like the reality of the situation, where it's kind of like yeah, kind of like baby trapped you. And that does happen. And I want to give that credit. Like, cause some people just, that's why I'm like, take your time with dating, cause that will surface. And anyway, and sometimes these people like get accidentally pregnant, which is not a real thing. So yes, Miss Priya, I screenshotted your question. I was waiting for you to show up, and then I will read it right now. So that's how I feel about that. But if you have a real connection with someone, FTI, you're just gonna have to wait it out and know that the relationship it's hard in those stages, but it will regulate again. Good evening, Fresh. Happy Wednesday, Jabbar. Hi, Expansionist. Good to see you. It's pretty good. It is connected with trauma. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, and I feel like they're suppressing that, because they invented this ADHD thing to sells meds. You have kids, and it's stressful sometimes, and you're like, "Yes, I will do that." Before you're a parent, you're like, "I will never let my child have an iPad," and then you're like throwing the iPad at them, and things get, especially if you're working, and it's kind of like, okay, let's just try these meds. But I feel like people are waking up to the fact that they are very detrimental to the brain. What are you using the shrooms for, Eric? I was diagnosed with ADD. The doctor wanted to put me on Adderall. No, but my mom was against it. Good for her. I'm so glad too. Yeah, you really have to detox your brain after that, especially modern school structures. Yes, they suck for that. Moving this wire out of the way. Jabbar, Lauren, I totally agree with that medicating ADHD. Yeah, I have a master's degree in psychology, in the Master's of Science in Psychology. Yeah, like, and the fact that you got put on Adderall because your teachers didn't have the capacity, do you see how fucked up that is? It didn't even have anything to do with you. It makes me angry because it's just, I'm sure you've detoxed from that, Bob, but it's just makes me upset. Okay, let's go to Miss Priya's question that I screenshotted from. So, a topic that came up was many people are truly narcissists or narcissistic to an unhealthy level, and someone, that was Bob, wrote that less that less than such percentage are truly narcissists. That's not, it's really hard to measure, right? Because narcissists aren't like, yeah, let me be part of this study. It's hard, right? And then you get the other side where it's kind of like people reporting. So it's really hard to measure, but I think I would say 40% of the population has these defense mechanisms to some degree. I just see it so often. But we see patterns of behavior of people in our lives pushing boundaries or manipulations to different degrees. Should we not focus on who's diagnosed narcissist and more on how people in our lives actually, or our lives act unhealthy towards us? Yeah. Like, that's why I don't emphasize like diagnosis. Sometimes when I'm doing like a celebrity thing or talking about a reality show, I will bring that up to like help conceptualize, because these people, I mean, they're also trying to entertain, but they do, like, a lot of them have narcissistic personality disorders and these very maladaptive personality traits and defense mechanisms. So I will use that to help you conceptualize, because especially if you are just getting out of a relationship like this, you're like, what the hell just happened? How, you're confused, you're trying to make sense of it, you're running back to the person because you think you did everything wrong because they made you feel that way. So when you say, hey, this person is a narcissist, here's the defense mechanisms, and you are being a logical person and trying to resolve the situation in this way, and it's not going to work because of this. And so it's just very illuminating, it's very clarifying to do that. Yes, I take one-on-one clients, and then I have people in my courses, like students in my courses, but my one-on-one clients, we chat, or we don't chat. We have a session once a week, a 60-minute, and then I talk to my clients every day because that healing and that rewiring happens in real time. So, yeah, like this has been a busy summer. There's been a tidal wave of like new clients, but um yeah, if you want to chat, I can tell you about how my private practice works and how I work with my clients. And then if we're a good fit, then we can move forward. Um, and then if not, I could refer you to someone. My question, maybe I can try to ask tonight, how important is it to identify with specific difficult personality you're dealing with? Is it narcissist, a bully, or a victim? How important to specific, it doesn't really matter what you're labeling it as. Again, if you're very new, if this is just like this first time that this has happened to you, it does really help to be like, okay, these are narcissistic or borderline or sociopathic, whatever it is, defense mechanisms, and here's why, and like here's how you're acting, just like I just said. But no, of course it doesn't matter to really specifically identify or label it. It's really about you and your reactions to it, which, your triggers are your teachers, like we talk about, and what it's bringing up in you and how to identify that, so we stop attracting those toxic dynamics. Because if we keep just unconsciously reacting to these people and attracting them, you'll have a narcissistic boss, and then you'll have a narcissistic romantic partner. So you want to understand why you are attracting these people and why you are triggered in the ways that you are, and why what does it do to you? Does it like send you off and then you just have to talk to them until it's resolved? Everyone reacts to these people differently. And so that's what's important. And that's why I say that after you really decide to, like, I'm going to heal from this toxic relationship, it could be the best thing that ever happened to you. It could be the beginning of the best era of your life, the best era of your life. So that's what it is. We're not you, like, basically using, because everyone's a teacher in your life. And so if this really triggering thing happened, what is it teaching you? And what can you heal so you can be the best version of yourself, your health, wealth, relationships, career? And every single time I have helped someone, either in my one-on-one coaching or with my courses, they have received more money, gotten promotions, their business takes off, they start attracting like really good romantic partners, their family gets more cohesive that they want, like, and their health gets better because their energy isn't drained all the time. It really does. When you stop giving your energy in that way, every part of your life gets better. If you have a connection with God, source, whatever you call it, that gets stronger and clear. It's like the signal is clear. So that's why we care about it. But it's more, um yeah, the label isn't important. It's about you. It's about you and how you're reacting to it and how it's holding you back in your life, Miss Priya. I'm just listening. I'm having an okay week as the months go by. It's been 8 months. Don't have any triggers that affect anymore, but still small thoughts of narcissistic ex. You don't have to shake your head. Don't judge yourself about that. Is still, is it is it still normal? Yeah, don't shake your head. Like, you're just really detoxing your nervous system from this. So don't, and it is very common to judge yourself for that. It's like, why am I not over this yet? And then you start shoulding on yourself, like, you should be over this, you should have moved on. No. And then continue to explore it. It's like, if you are thinking about them, what is it? Is it something that you miss? Is it something that they, especially in the love bombing stage, provided that you wish was real? And can you have that in a real relationship, a real healthy, safe, supportive relationship? You know what I'm saying? So instead of just shaking your head or judging yourself for it, I would get out a journal and be like, okay, here are the lingering thoughts I'm having. And yes, it's normal. And I'm ready to get this out of my nervous system and out of my mind. And here's what it is. I maybe miss this. Why? What need do you feel like it's fulfilling for you? And how did it make you feel? And can you, one, make yourself feel that way? And then two, can you really believe that that type of situation and feelings is available to you in a safe, supportive relationship? That's where I would go from there. And that's what will really release that last part. And to the point where you're like, what was I don't even, I mean, if they were down on their knees begging me to get back with him, I would be like, no. It will shift that intensely when you get there. So keep working on that and keep releasing that. And keep also, because narcissists have this tendency to get you in a scarcity mindset. So please know we're shifting to an abundance mindset. That's a big part of healing from toxic people. And knowing that everything that you were presented in the love bombing stage really exists, and a real person like that exists for you that will be consistent and safe, and you'll have a loving, fun relationship. To have small thoughts of them from time to time. Yeah, no judgment in that. You're just at the end stages of releasing it. FTI. That was my theory. It can't be permanent. No, it's not typically. Oh my God. My phone thought I said Siri. Relax, dude. Um, um, people my age don't get married anymore if they want to. I mean, I see really young people getting married. I don't know. My last two kids' mom said that they were on the pill, but after having my two amazing sons, I'm glad. Good. You know, ideally, I mean, I do think it's manipulative, and I do think it's best when it's a co-created decision, but if you are like, that's what matters the most, is that you're happy. And I'm sure you're a fabulous dad. Hi, Jaden. Praying for you, Ben. Please remember that there are good, bad, and indifferent people across. Yeah, what did you mean by that? Like you were traumatized and now you're racist? That's a pretty intense defense mechanism. That's probably not going to serve you. I mean, it's definitely not going to serve you. Hi, Charlie. Okay, we don't do all caps here. I feel like the all caps people are like the angriest people, and they're literally like talking about themselves sometimes. FTI, I might have to go one-on-one with you because I think you're a genius. Yeah, I remind me of my aunt, and I have more letters than the alphabet. Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, and those again, that's just your brain doing its thing to cope. When I had all the letters of the alphabet, like CPTSD and the OCD, and I'm really passionate about the fact that you can really get rid of your OCD. It's an anxiety disorder. It's on the anxiety spectrum, and it's just your brain trying to cope. It's just your brain trying to feel safe. You could have OCD, like religious OCD. You could have it about anything, and it's just wanting safety. So please know that um, that you can release all of these things. And it could be like, oh yeah, not really affected by those things anymore. That can be your future, and it doesn't need to take that long. But yes, in the description, there's a link that says all of my info and then a thing that connects to my WhatsApp. So you can WhatsApp me and then we could chat about working one-on-one. I'd love to work one-on-one with you. Yeah, I know my triggers because of an Italian therapist who was a professor and made me aware. Nice. I'm part Italian, so I don't know, maybe that's it. Still can't sleep. Why can't you sleep? Learning my triggers and symptoms was huge for me. I've pre-warned all of my relationships since LOL. Current girlfriend got a book about. I love that. Bob, it sounds like you're in this like really nice, healthy relationship. I freaking love that. That you can, because that's what you want to do, right? Intimacy into me. Well, I see, but it's also into you, I see. And being, because in that first whatever month, you're kind of performing a little bit or not showing everything, but it's nice to be like, hey, here's what's going on with me. And because you want to have healthy conflict resolution, you want to be able to work with someone, and you want to be able to like have where both people's needs are being taken care of. So I love that so much, and that she was willing to educate herself about that. And I love when like that you did that. I mean, I've told clients that too. And sometimes I'll just say like, just tell them that you have like some anxious attachment, and that even if they are like borderline, just start there, and like, this is what comes up for me, my nervous system does this. And so if you're with the right person, they will respond that way. They'll want to know, they'll want to learn, they'll want to like, not like work with you, but like, I guess work with you, and because the relationship is worth that to them. Takes a while. Thank you. I'm trying to not. I'm just saying you can shake your head, but like, I just don't want you to judge yourself, because we don't want to have this negative feedback loop around like, oh, that person, oh, I'm mad at myself. Oh, that person, because you're still giving that person power in that way. I'd rather you look at it like, this is information. Let me look into this. It's just information, right? That's all. That's why I want you to think of it. It's like, okay, that's still coming up, right? Okay, I can do that. Nah, don't miss. Oops. Nah, don't miss. Just because I'm a big-hearted person and value connections, but a lot of others don't. I don't miss them, though, to be honest. Okay, good. And then, so if you don't miss them and you're a big-hearted person and you value connections, why wouldn't you give your precious energy to people that value that? And there's a synergistic component to that. So the love and support and the big heart that you give out, you get back, instead of someone that never did that. And I made no contact and don't want to. You don't want no contact? Why? Yes, we're into abundance here, Jabbar. Yes, you have to remember that. Abundance. Yes. We always want an abundance, prosperity mindset. And I like to always add the word like joyous abundance, because you could have an abundance of like shit you don't want, right? So it's like, I want joyous, abundant financial prosperity. I want joyous, abundant love in my life, and joyously abundant health. Thankfully, I've learned about the importance of setting healthy boundaries and have improved at setting them. That's what it's all about, right? It really is about setting healthy boundaries, because then your energy is so precious, and your time certainly is. You can't get that back. So you want to use it and distribute it in a way that serves you and that works for you, instead of having like these energy vampires drain it. Like, we don't want that. Respect for the introspection and growth, Jabbar. Yes. Yeah, all caps drives me nuts, by the way. Oh, I just imagine people screaming at their computer. I know, it's just like, "Why are you yelling?" It reminds me of the Wizard Liz. I'm like, "Why the fuck are you yelling? Stop, please." I'm like, "No, I don't, like, give that energy. Go regulate your nervous system, and then it's okay." Or ask me a question about how to regulate your nervous system, like, I write in all caps and I'm trying not to. I yell a lot. I can work with that. But not you, like, lecturing in all caps, whatever the hell you were trying to do. Yes, let's keep introspecting and growing. I'm so down. You should generally be proud of it, Jabbar. You earn the respect. Hell yeah. Hi, David. Personality. Okay, anyway. RIP. Do you think media can be used to control narratives? Are you kidding? Like, each conform me? Absolutely. You remember I used to work for the government, okay? They're doing all kinds of things to control us, and now they're spraying shit in the air. Like, I mean, it just annoys me, but yes, a lot of it. That's what I liked about, I don't know, you probably only know this if you have kids, but so my niece was like, "Let's watch K-pop Hunters," and I'm like, but I did, I watched it with her, and it's about the music industry controlling people's minds in a negative way, and I'm like, "How did they get this movie, like, published?" It was so good, and it had so many good messages in it, but, the music industry is fucking dark, and, like, if you now that Clive Davis is dead, you can learn a lot about how literally he's super awful human being he was, and so, um and that's just one media platform, right? But yeah, I think it goes so deep. Yeah, that's so nice about your girlfriend, Bob. I love that. There was never an intimacy for free. You are lying about. Okay, I don't know what that means. This is like this incoherent talk. Yes, mental health, relationships, neuroscience. Patterns are never permanent. They're not. They might feel like that sometimes, and you might be like, "Oh my gosh, it's like, how am I ever gonna get over this?" But they're not permanent. And the moment you decide, "I'm done with this pattern. I'm done with my relationship to food like this, or my body, or having, like, romantic relationships like this," the pattern can be released. So, yeah. Let me switch the phone. Um, okay. Yeah, no politics. That's not this channel. It's just not my thing. What causes OCD? Because a lot of stuff that seems silly to me, but I do it without realizing and then notice I did it. Yeah, I mean, like, so I was saying earlier, OCD is on the anxiety spectrum, and it's your brain trying to feel safe. And maybe at some point in your life, you didn't feel safe, especially as a child. So what happens is like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to put my teddy bear here, or I'm gonna brush my teeth 3 times, or I need to pray the rosary 10 times, and then I'm okay. Like, there's just so many different things, but it's all about safety, and it's all about trying to assuage anxiety in some type of way. And so, it can be more severe or less severe, but it can be treated. And you could just treat it with CBT if you're open to it. And you have to really want to release that, because a big part of OCD is the absolute belief that things outside of you are determining your safety and determining your life. So a big part of it is realizing that your mind is more powerful than anything, and you determine your safety. You determine how your life goes. And it's not, if I do this thing 20 times to the door handle, then I'll be okay. No, you'll be okay no matter what. Really, you'll be okay no matter what. And sometimes with my clients, I'm just like, you'll be okay no matter what. You'll be okay no matter. And we're just repeating that kind of like robotically. You'll be okay no matter. Like, you have to rewire your brain in that way. So yes, it can be. You just have to be committed to it. And you kind of have to be sick of living like that, because, OCD stuff is such an energy drain. But it's a beautiful transition and beautiful healing to knowing that you're always safe and taken care of and everything's okay. So that is how I feel about that. Um, are you going to monetize your channel? I mean, when I have enough hour view, I think I need to create more long form content, but when I have the option to, I would love to. Before I was aware of it, FTI, I was on autopilot. Yeah. And we get these reactions, feedback loops, and they're just in the background, right? Like an app, a really outdated app that's just running in the background, and it's really draining. And it's like, gosh, I really wish it wasn't there. And so you can decide that I don't want that app draining my energy and my brain space. So it's just about bringing it to, yes, CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy. It's just about bringing it to your attention and then deciding, yeah, I want to relate to the world differently. Miss Priya, what to do if, like, in a day-to-day life, you encounter a toxic personality at a checkout and it triggers memories of a past narcissist? I would work on why you're getting triggered, because again, your triggers are your teachers, and they're teaching you that you have something that you get to release or heal. It means the same thing to me. So, because it's just it if you're really over it, it won't bother you. You'll see people like that and it just won't. I did a I think I did I think I did a post. I know I did do a post on it, and I think you commented on it, Miss Priya, where this woman, just no accountability. I was at the grocery store at Sprouts, and where you could like scoop the nuts, and she's just digging her hands in there. And I'm like, if you're and eating like a little fat pig. And I'm like, if you're gonna steal, I'm like so like right up in her face. I'm like, if you're gonna steal from Sprouts, can you at least like be hygienic about it? I'm like, just all you do is scoop it and put it in your hand. Do you have to dig your fucking nails in there? And so it just grossed me out so much. So I had to say something. And then she was like, my husband divorced me. And I'm like, bitch, you're fucking with the wrong person, because I'm a therapist and I don't care. Like, you're trying to avoid accountability. And she's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Then she turns the corner and starts eating out of another one. And I'm like, fucking, you know what? I'm telling on you. But I didn't get like triggered. I was kind of grossed out. And then it was like a sanitation issue. So I was like, but usually I just like, and then, keep on moving. It doesn't affect me like that. Or sometimes in like social situations or like dating situations, a very beta male, probably DL narcissist, secretly gay guy, he just will say something like, oh, you think you're whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the shit. Okay. And you're not. So yeah, this conversation's over. I just don't care. And that's the thing. There's just so much emotional freedom attached to that. So Miss Priya, you got to go in and do more work, and that's fine. But, understand your triggers, like do some journaling, do some releasing, get Letting Go by Dr. David R. Hawkins, and read it, and then listen to it when you're driving, and be committed to your healing more than you are about like letting these people take up space in your head. You have to make that decision. Yes, OCD is very draining. That make me feel better. FTI, that make me feel better understanding the psychology of it. Your make it seem so simple and obvious real skill you have. Yeah, I mean, like, my what I like to do is bring a lot of clarity to things because I want you to feel empowered. I want you to just be like, these people confused and they're like trying to hoodwink you, like psychologically hoodwink you. And it's very confusing and you feel alone. And so I like to just really bring a lot of clarity to it and put the power back in your hands and let you know, like, yes, you can do this. And yes, you can set that boundary. And yes, things can change like that. I was just talking to a new client. I think it's been maybe 3 weeks and things have shifted. Like, I'm so proud of her. Like, I mean, like, way better job, more money. Like, these people are like courting her. They love her. They'll do anything to have her when she's been underappreciated forever because she was with a narcissist who underappreciated her. She let that go. And then now that she has this amazing relationship with her kid, like, it's just like, I don't know, everything's coming together for her in a short amount of time. It's like once you make that decision, it doesn't have to take that long. But you have to have clarity about things because it is these people thrive on confusing you. And that's why a lot of people think that narcissists, they call them demonic because, you know, those lower energies, they thrive on confusing you so they could steal your energy. So yeah. Drinking one of my little get well potions that taste like shit. Um, let's see. Cool Lauren. Jabbar says, cool Lauren. I'm cool Lauren that you're going. Yes, I'm putting it in my consciousness that my YouTube channel is monetized. I need to do more long form like video content and I really want to. I just need to prioritize it. Yes, OCD is mentally draining. Fresh. Are you a therapist? Yes, I am. I am asking sincerely because I studied a lot and it's so true what you're saying. Yes, I'm a therapist. I have a master's degree in psychology. I also graduated at the top of my class. I'm also a member of Psych High Society, which is for like when you get really good grades, but that doesn't fucking matter, actually. And really, like, some of the best people that I've worked with, some of them have been energy workers. That's why I don't like flex on that a lot because, some of the best people I've worked with they're just regular, they just decided to be a coach or they're like energy workers or stuff like, because everything is energy. But, and then some of the worst therapists I've have had like PhDs, multiple PhDs, and they're just kind of sitting on that. They're like, oh, I'll get business because, people don't know. So it's like, oh, I'll pick the one in my insurance that's a PhD. And I'm like, you fucking suck at your job. And I think I talked about this before. Like, I've worked with PhD people and they're asking me, they're like, oh, how do you know that? I'm like, we're done here. I am not coaching you. You know what? I'll charge you. That's what I should have said. Thank you for revealing it. You're welcome. Robert. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's my trigger. Yeah, no accountability. I just don't even give those people energy. I'm with you, Jabbar. You're welcome, Jabbar. Jabbar, Lauren, would we know if we're a narcissist? I don't think you'd be hanging out here if you were a narcissist, or you'd be in the comments like spamming and getting really triggered. So, I mean, I think it's so funny when I could tell someone's a narcissist and they're like in the comments. It happens more on my Instagram and I'm like, okay, like I just don't even say anything. So, like you don't take accountability for anything. That's the biggest sign of a narcissist. So but if you're hanging out with a narcissist, they like to gaslight you and tell you, no, you're the narcissist. I can't tell you how many people have a first session with them and they're like, yeah, my partner thinks that I'm the narcissist. And they're like kind of believing it. It's like that phase where they're blaming themselves and they really think like maybe there's an imminent breakup or divorce. And they're like, if I would have done this differently. And I'm like, I have to really untangle that. And it does take a lot to regulate the nervous system to be like, no, you couldn't have done anything different because of how they are. Why can't I see this full comment? Before I go, my win was someone had no sympathy for something I explained and I detached and let go, not going, not go to Home Depot for coffee. Hell yeah. Yeah, you weren't trying to get something from someone that they're choosing not to provide for you, right? And the analogy, if you weren't there, the analogy I said is like, this is about getting frustrated when you're trying to get your needs met from someone, trying to have someone understand something that is so simple. It's like, I just want you to see my point of view, or I just want a little bit of sympathy or whatever. And they are not willing to provide it for you. And my analogy was, don't go to Home Depot to shop for milk. They don't have milk there. You can argue with them. They're just like, man, we don't have milk here. You have to go somewhere else. Okay, same with the person, or going up to an apple tree and being like, I want lemons. They're like, we have apples here. So it's the same thing. And once you get that, and I say that because it's then becomes really obvious, right? When we do that with people, it's like we are trying to get something from this person that they are unwilling to do. That's it. Bring it back to basics, the reason to the problem. That's an artist. Thank you, FTI. Um, yes, it is awesome, Miss Priya. Super proud of you. Love that. Love you integrating the tools and just not reacting to things and saving your precious energy for you. Thanks, Jabbar. Yes, I have my own private practice and I have courses as well. You're welcome for clarifying. John, what keeps a marriage strong? Admitting when you're wrong and handling the situation differently. Yeah. It's just about taking accountability. Because sometimes, especially with like toxic people, we're not trying to just be like, I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I see that a lot and I have to reel my clients in. I'm like, you didn't do that. And sometimes they unconsciously, and I've done this before, so no shame, but you're just like unconsciously like, yeah, I did that. It's fine. It's fine. Fine. Are we done? Like, I'm sick of arguing. You're literally like physically, mentally, and emotionally tired of arguing. So you're just like, okay, I'll take responsibility for everything. And then it just feeds the toxic behavior. So you have to have your boundary, take accountability for your side of it, and hopefully the other person can do the same thing, and you can be in your safe couple bubble where it's just you guys, and you can express things that are maybe uncomfortable. Maybe you had a reaction to something you're not proud of, but it's okay because the safe couple bubble that you're in, the bond isn't broken, and you can show up, you could show these parts of yourself that maybe you're like not so stoked about, and that's okay. That's what real intimacy is about. And then when you can have that healthy conflict resolution, guess what it does? It strengthens your connection. It deepens the intimacy. That's what we're going for. That's the vibe. I just learned about tapping technique. Yes, I have a playlist on rewiring your brain to sleep if you have sleep issues, and one of them is a tapping. I really like tapping. You're hitting on the meridian points and all of your energy is focused on that, and it's really soothing. So if you're into it, do get into tapping or try it if you're new to it. Explore it. I don't know that meme, Bob. Rewired, yeah, it does talk about tapping. I know that book. Thank you, Miss Priya, for the insight. Yeah. Good job, Miss Priya. Yeah, keep showing up. I love how you guys support each other. And, And I do love how all of you guys, but like, Miss Priya integrating the tools, and it is nice to react to things differently. You know what I mean? And because this new version of yourself that doesn't have these old survival defense mechanisms that you really don't need, they can just dissipate, and then you feel lighter and brighter and more energetic, and then you could do the things that you want in life. And again, your health, wealth, relationships, career, your connection with God, source, whatever you call it, they all get better, and it feels really good. You're on it, Bob. Thank you. Thank you so much to Bob for keeping the spammers at bay. Yes, they will not be tolerated. Okay. We're here to, me and Bob are here to create a safe space for you guys so you can talk about mental health or things that are holding you back. I want you to be the best version of yourself all the time. And, there's so many ways to rewire your brain, recalibrate and regulate your nervous system. And it doesn't involve a bunch of meds or anything like that. There's a lot of natural stuff. On my TikTok, I talk a lot about Happy Saffron Plus. Like, Saffron is outperforming SSRIs. And it always has been that way, but now they can't suppress the information anymore. And so they're just coming out, they're like, yeah, you're right. And not only is it better than SSRIs because it's better because it has the same effects, the same, elevating your mood, but it also doesn't have any of the side effects of low libido. In fact, it increases your libido and it increases your mental focus. So you're not like, okay, well, I'm not sad, but I'm like fucking, I don't know, out of it, and it literally says mood, memory, and sexual function. So it's an antidepressant. It really helps mental focus. And it also has, people replace it with like a glass of wine, or like, if you smoke weed or whatever like that, when you're trying to wind down at the end of the night, people are replacing it with saffron because it has that relaxing effect. I think because 3 capsules is, so I would, for me to get that effect, I do 4, sometimes 5, and then just have some tea, and it just really is like a vibe. I really enjoy it. And on TikTok, I talk a lot about how I really like Brain MD because it's by Dr. Daniel Amen. Look up his stuff. He's not the most charismatic speaker, but he's really intelligent, and he is the only psychiatrist that studies the brain. So because psychiatrists are the only medical doctors that prescribe medicine for an organ that they don't ever examine. Think about how crazy that is. And so what he does is he scans the brain, and he does this brain scan where he can tell oh, you have anxiety, you smoke, you chew gum. I don't know how he knows these things, but you can tell by these brain scans. And then he prescribes certain different herbal things or different affirmations to do. Super interesting stuff. L-theanine's great too. I do like L-theanine for sure. Fresh. I listen to the insomnia ones, but they are so interesting. It's hard to not listen. One thing I've noticed, if there's any entertainment I'm listening, I can't help it. Yeah. TV off it. I want to create, because I listen to them myself, kind of like subliminal messaging things, but a lot of the subliminals, and I just think people don't know. For instance, there'll be a subliminal about prosperity, and they're saying I'm debt free. You don't say the word that you don't want. You say, I always have financial prosperity. I have continuous financial overflow coming into my life. That's what you say. So I wanted to, because I scour the internet, and some of the most popular people that other people really like. I mean, they have millions of views, but they're saying things that there's certain words that they shouldn't be saying, in my opinion, because they're words that you want to. It's the antithesis of what you want to focus on. Mark, last question. I have a great understanding of energy work, and I'm a great manifester, holler, but I have a bad habit of letting things get dramatic before I change it. Why is that? So, excellent question. We are we do have this. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about this, and he's like, "Don't wait for the crisis." That's one of my favorite things that Dr. Joe Dispenza says. He's like, "The crisis will, put a fire under your ass and then get you to where you want to be, but it doesn't need to be that dramatic." So what I would say is start with, like, change your belief system and change your self-concept and change your identity to someone that I thrive in peace. My baseline state is peace, and that's where I thrive. I don't do chaos. Maybe back in the day I did, but yesterday I did. I don't do that anymore. I thrive in peace. I can manifest, I can bring in, I'm a master manifester, right? Mark, because you are. So I'm a master manifester. And then when I decide that I want something, it just comes in the most peaceful way. I don't have to wait till the last minute. I don't have to, because you might have an underlying belief, Mark, that for me to have what I want, I know I'm going to get it, but like I have to suffer. Things have to be hard. They don't. They don't. That's something, different media platforms told you that you don't. I'm sorry, you don't. So you get to decide that. Does that make sense? Like, so changing your self-concept around that, like you get to just have things go your way in a very peaceful way, a very calm, peaceful way. And maybe back in the day they didn't. Maybe it was chaotic and you had to get to this rock bottom moment or things got really, you don't have to do that anymore. You could drop that old story like now. Every breath you take, you're a new person. So drop that old story and now it's like, okay, here's my new identity. FYI, you ever listen to ASMR? I have sleep problems too, and it's enough to hold my attention, but simple enough to use. Yeah, I mean, um, ASMR works for certain people. It doesn't work for me, but it does. I like binaural beats, and because there's a lot of good research about what it does for the brain and nervous system. But if that works for you, go for it. Hi, Cigar. Hi, Bobby. Great response. Love it. I'm glad that helps. I'm glad that helped, Mark. First time here. So my life is about, I'm a therapist, and my life is about mental health and nervous system regulation, helping you heal from toxic relationships, and just any questions you have about relationships. And we're actually getting ready to wrap up, but welcome. I live stream every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST and every Sunday at 5 p.m. PST. So please come back, and like all of my past live streams are up for you to. I'm going to go back and give them titles about what that live stream was about, so it's easier to sort through. But actually in the live streams, I have chapters now, so you could like look and see what I was talking about if you go in the description. Knows who's amazing, can asleep. He rocks me out of work. He knocks me out. Okay, nice. I've never heard of him. Yes, all my information is in the description. We can connect on WhatsApp. It'll connect you to my WhatsApp, and then we could chat about if you're a good fit for my private practice, and we'll go from there. The learning curve at my job is, hi, J-Ro. The learning curve at my job is kind of rough. What should I do? The people are so rude. Oh, I don't like that. So I want you to, J-Ro, I want you to get your needs met. And, when there's these work environments that are very rough and it's like, yeah, like catch up, da, da, da. It's like everyone's stressed out. Everyone's stressed out and probably like no one knows what they're doing. I do a lot of executive coaching. I work with companies a lot. And when you have that company culture of like this steep learning curve and everyone's just like hustling and rude, you know, I want you to do the best that you can and not be hard on yourself, and in the meantime, I want you to think about the fact that you can have a much more like nurturing and like you can have a very good work environment, a company culture that serves you. I'm so big on that. You spend so much of your life at work, you should have a company culture that works for you and makes you want to go to work and isn't dysregulating your nervous system all the time. That's going to affect your health. Oh, thank you for subbing and liking. Can I book you? So again, if you go into the description, I think it says, here's all my info, and it's like my link tree. And one of the options is one-on-one coaching, and it will take you to my WhatsApp. And then just send me a message on WhatsApp and we'll talk. Yeah, I'm gonna check him out. Hi, David. Yes, Bob, mate. Where are you from, FTI? Um, Worked thousands of times for me. Cool. Thanks for the info. So I'm gonna wrap up. See, I do feel better. Like when I got on this call, I'm like, I might die. Not really, but I am feeling better, which is good because I have one more client after y'all. Okay, thanks. My job is still kind of new. I will keep you posted. Yes, keep us posted. Belfast, Ireland. That's right. I love it. I want to go to Ireland one day. That weather is my vibe. Yeah, I'm getting there, J-Ro. But in this moment, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm going to be good for my client that I have at 8 p.m. my time in an hour. So I'm very grateful for that. And I've been telling myself, thank you for my radiant health. Thank you for my radiant. It does help instead of like, I'm so, so, Lauren, I totally get how you feel. LOL. Thanks for being here. Yeah, thank you for being here. I love you guys are so smart and you ask great questions. And you really do. It's a synergy. You guys give me life and I really appreciate being part of your life in whatever way I am. What's your favorites? I think you meant sciencey. Oh, sciencey dude. I mean, I'm a young girl. Young connects psychology and spirituality, and some people call it pseudoscience because they don't understand what's going on. And it connects neuroscience, or he connects neuroscience, psychology, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, like all of it. I just love Jung. Definitely like Freud. No. Pavlov had some good points, so did Skinner, but not really. Freud is creepy to me. And the more you learn about him, you guys, if you ever deep dive, it's like creepy, Freud's whole situation. Hi, Joe Wolf. So we're just wrapping up. Thank you so much, you guys. I love your questions. Thank you again, Bob, for keeping these streets clean. It's nice to like see the juxtaposition because I see every comment and then I see how like Bob cleans up so much. Like, thank you, Bob. So appreciate you and all of your, feedback because Bob also has I don't know if you have a background in psychology, but you definitely have a lot of knowledge of psychology from your own personal, which I love when people have their own personal experience and they have wisdom behind things. So thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, Bob. And I will see you on Sunday. I hope I wasn't too spacey. I'm just like winging it here and I'm still kind of like feverish. So I hope it was okay. I hope I helped you guys in some type of way. Okay. I love you guys. Mwah. See you Sunday.